Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be showing you exactly how to sublimate your own mouse pads from start to finish. Whether you're a beginner or just want a refresher, I'll walk you through everything you need from materials and design setup to pressing and final results. If you've been thinking about adding sublimated mouse pads to your shop or just want to make a few custom gifts, this video is just for you. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get right into it. All right, so let's go ahead and go over the materials needed. So first you're going to need a printer, and you know I'm an Epson girly, so I am using my Epson 2800. And if you were to go out and purchase a printer, if you don't want to go ahead and actually purchase one of these, any type of inkjet printer will do just fine. I feel like inkjet printers give you the best vibrancy when it comes to colors. All right, next you're going to need some sublimation paper, and as always, I use the A-Sub sublimation paper. I feel like you should not go cheap on this here because this can definitely make or break your project. Then of course you're going to need some Mousepad sublimation blanks, and I will have this listed under my Amazon must-haves. Then you're going to need a heat press. It could be a manual one just like this power press I have, or you can use the handheld one as well. Now this right here is optional, which is butcher paper. This just assures that when you're sublimating that the ink doesn't bleed through on your heat press. Again, this is optional, but I definitely recommend it. All right, so now since we got the materials out the way, let's go ahead and start going over how I actually create the template for the sublimation. So what I do is I actually create an 8.5 by 11, a full sheet of the design. And if you guys are wondering where I get my designs from, I actually purchase them from a multiple of small business owners on Etsy. So if you're looking for some PNG files or anything of that nature, I would definitely check out Etsy because their prices are very reasonable. All right, so I went ahead and printed out all of my designs, and I will be going over the print settings a little later on in the video since one of my sheets did come out distorted. When you're printing from your sublimation machine, it's always important to make sure and check each page, because sometimes when you're sublimating and printing things back to back, the ink will probably look a little lighter or a little bit more distorted. So I am currently using a Mac, but this is going to be the same concept when it comes to a Windows computer as well. Anytime you're dealing with sublimation, you're going to always choose the option matte photo paper or matte paper. I always make sure the quality is best, and then I always make sure I mirror the image. In this case, on an Apple computer, you would hit the option layout, and then there should be a sub option named flip horizontally. Just make sure you toggle that on. So before I actually prep my sublimation blanks, I go ahead and turn on my heat press to 400 degrees for 50 seconds. This is my standard sublimation temperature. I literally never change it. So anything I've ever sublimated, it's always 400 degrees, 50 seconds. If you purchase your mouse pads from the same vendor I purchased mine from Amazon, they all come individually wrapped, which is a plus, especially if you're planning on selling them. You could just go ahead and keep the packaging and then sublimate it and just insert it back into that packaging. Now, if you see any debris, I always check to make sure there's no lint or any debris on my mouse pad before I actually tape it down to my sheet of paper, just to make sure that everything's going to sublimate correctly. So since the mouse pads are pretty heavy, they're a pretty decent weight, I just go ahead and tape just all four sides. I don't overly excessively tape like around the whole perimeter of the mouse pad, because that's going to be more work for me to remove the sublimation paper. Just 4 pieces of tape will work just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up for you guys. It's pretty simple and pretty standard. I'm just taking off the film from the mouse pad and applying it to my sublimation paper and just putting it to the side. This part is fairly easy. Again, I'm just going to speed it up for you guys so you just don't hear just me playing around with all this paper. Now, I recognize that one of the sheets of paper did come out a little distorted, as I was saying at the beginning of the video, which I had to go ahead and reprint. It's always important to check your work before sublimating because you don't want to waste any material. So I'm going to go into Canva again and reprint this page. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and speed this up for you guys. Now this is how it should look. Of course, you know, it's going to look a little matte until it's actually pressed onto something, but the colors should be very consistent. If you can tell that the consistency on the picture on the left is very dull and kind of faded than the one on the right, that's what you want to actually look for. And you can actually see the lines inside of the images like it was running out of ink. But I think because I was actually printing multiple pages back to back, maybe the sublimation printer was like, I need a break. I don't know, but when I reprinted it, everything came out perfect. Now, since my heat press has been prepped for 400 degrees, you want to go ahead and play around with your pressure knobs. Make sure you have heavy pressure. You want the heaviest pressure when you're sublimating so you don't have any ghosting and you get the best vibrancy as far as the transfer of the ink to your blank. So I went ahead and just made sure my butcher paper was face down because I'll be actually pressing the image down just so that the ink doesn't bleed through to my heat press. And just as an option as well, sometimes I add a pressing pillow. Now this will be under my Amazon must-haves as well. I sometimes use this if I want to get a little bit more pressure, and just make sure you put that under the butcher paper. So I wanted to press one on normal speed just to kind of see that steam. You got to be careful. This thing gets hot and it stinks. I hate to say it, but pressing any type of rubber stinks. But you're going to go ahead and do a warm peel. So you're going to go ahead and move that aside, let it cool off a little bit, and then I will go ahead and reveal it. So this is actually the Florida Beach mouse pad, which I'm from Florida. So of course we have all of these nice vibrant colors. You have little martini glasses and oranges and palm trees and shells, you know, everything that Florida brings. But it came out very vibrant, very beautiful, no ghosting. It's like wall to wall, very seamless. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and sublimate the rest, but I'm going to speed it up for you guys. Now, at first I kept changing the butcher paper, but I was like, you know what? Let me just keep flipping it and just using the same butcher paper. You're going to actually see the butcher paper getting darker and darker as I continue to use it. But why waste more butcher paper when you could use the same sheet? You see that? It is literally burnt to a crisp, but guess what? It got the job done. And guess what else? The room smells like freaking rubber and it stinks, which is unfortunate. But hey, this is what we do. Part of crafting. All right, so I let all of the images actually cool off for quite some time. So I'm going to go ahead and do a refill. Now, you're actually supposed to put these on top of some type of silicone when you're cooling them. So I just found like my little desk pad because that's the best I could find. And it didn't damage my desk up under it anyway. So it lucky for me. But that was my lemon drops. Ooh, so pretty, so pink. I love it. I love it. And again, you can always outsource your designs. I really don't have, like, if I really had enough time to design everything, I most definitely would. But if you've been following my vlogs, I am a mom of 5. I barely have time to even record and make content for you guys. So I don't have time to make my own design. So I definitely outsource. If you have that in your budget to outsource, I most definitely would recommend it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and speed this part up for you guys, and then I'll give you a better close-up in just a moment. So everything came out super cute and super vibrant, no hiccups, thank God. But if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys on my next video.